I'm here with two former legends.
Where's the bloke? It's half time.
We talk to a bloke about football. Where's the bloke?
Go and get the bloke, love. Come on, get the bloke.
Where's the bloke?
Where's the bloke, love?
Where's the bloke?
Get the bloke, love. Get the bloke.
You've got a fucking day to get 3 points!
But Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
How about this?
Oh, Blokes Nation. Let's ride. What's up, fellas? Welcome to week 19. I cannot believe that Ethan Kamps and myself and James joined at some point have done something for 19 weeks straight. If you bet that at the beginning of the season, I would have told you there was no fucking chance that we actually did it every week for 19 consecutive weeks. But Ethan, it's that time of the week, and we're going to ask you to hit it in Spanish for us.
I won't lie to you guys. Mentally, I thought we were on 20. I had 20 in my head. I'm going to say dice nueva.
You're close. Nueve. Nueva means new.
I knew that caught me too off guard. Because I don't ever look it up. I just think about it. Like, I literally just transport myself back
you said
into
you
like
had 20
grade
loaded.
middle school Spanish class, and I'm just thinking about it, and I just, had it in my head all week. Guess we'll have to save that for Big 2-0 next week.
Well, I'm going to trip you up next week. I'm just going to throw a random ass number at you.
That's honestly kind of what I feel like you did today. I'm honestly not sold. This is episode 19.
Well, on episode 8, you thought we were on episode 13, so I just don't think you know what's ever going on.
My mind doesn't handle time well. So.
Yeah. Well, everyone, we are at the end. Was this match week 19? Was this week? So
yeah, pretty much most of everyone's played 19, I believe.
Yeah. No, Chelsea's 19, United are 18, but anyway. Great week of football. We had some big fixtures. Where did we leave off last week? We recorded on a Monday, so did we have any midweek games? I feel like United played Charlton, right? Or was that the week before?
Chelsea played Fulham.
Yes, Thursday night
until Thursday, yeah.
Thursday night football for the Cowboys. How did that one fare? Let's start there.
Cowboys. It was tough. I won't lie to you, it was tough. It's tough whenever you lose to your fucking rivals right around the corner. Brutal. I think it was the first time we had lost to them in the league for a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah,
I let the Mitrovic out news really lull me to sleep. Really just lull me into a false sense of security. I don't really know what I expect. At some point, I just know I'm going to open a Chelsea lineup and it's going to have Datro Fofana at striker and not Kai Havertz, and I'm just going to be like, wow, this is crazy. But no, it's Kai Havertz, not only is he not a striker, we're just overloading his match load tenfold to play striker. Mm-hmm. It's not a great scenario in any case, but losing
you got
terrible.
You got the Mark Goldbridge curse working for you this week because he tweeted out, I genuinely don't understand how a guy like Kai Havertz gets minutes week after week. Pretty much what you were saying in our group text. And then he said, knowing now that I've tweeted this, it wouldn't surprise me that he scores. And then clockwork. He scored this week.
That was at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But he just has to. Just not even from a sense of he's not playing well, just from a sense of squad rotation, he has to come out at some point. We can't just have Kai Havertz playing striker every game.
Yeah. Well, so in that you guys started with Kai Havertz, it was also really big news. A couple of things, right? One, we decided to make you a graphic. We made you a graphic to showcase your picks for the match, your outlook. You picked a 2-1 win for the Chelsea or a 1-1 draw. Neither happened, of course. And the other big news, marquee signing of the loanee from Atletico, Joao Felix. And I want you to walk us through what you saw.
I'm glad you bring that up, Marash, because that was like, I know Twitter and the football people will have their jokes. So 55 minutes. I saw 5 titles in 55 minutes. I saw the future before my eyes. I see we pay the fee for this guy. That's all I saw. That's literally all I saw. The first 3 minutes, I tweeted it. It was, we need to pay this release right now. Fee. Our offense hasn't looked that good in years when he was playing. Given we didn't score with it. Actually, we did. Koulibaly scored. But that's not, like, started off down 1-0. We were feeble at the back. Koulibaly is legitimately a League 2 side center back in terms of quality. He is abysmal. Like, I don't think I've ever had this little confidence in a Chelsea center back in my life. Except for, when Christensen was like a fucking teenager.
I know we just slid by this first goal, but we have to mention that it's
Willian scored. I was going to get to that.
I said conceded early down 1, but it was Willian. He decided not to sell it.
Yeah, I mean, you spend a lot of your fucking professional career at a club. Don't celebrate.
Chelsea legend, you claiming him?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a legend. He's a Chelsea hero.
Yeah,
he did his time at Chelsea. He won his titles at Chelsea. Well, he's not a legend. Like, he stuck with them through a transitional period where they didn't have the transfer, where they had the transfer ban, and it was all young players, and he was kind of the only senior attacker on that team with, like, Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount and all them under Lampard the first year. So, he did his years under Conte as well. Guy. So you tip your cap. It's nice to see him not celebrate, at least. It's not like, Adebayor, like, knee sliding to the away fans. It sucks, but, like, once it happens, it's kind of like, oh, this was always going to happen. There was never going to be a scenario where Willian didn't score against us in the West London.
I mean, defense was just looking a little feeble early. You kind of,
Chalobah didn't
it felt
look
like a game. It felt like a goal was coming in from somewhere. If I'm not mistaken, they got one off the bar at some point.
Sounds familiar.
Might be wrong. But they were pressing real hard early. But as you were saying, you can go back to Joao and extrapolate a little more on that.
Yeah, because in terms of the timeline of the game, Fulham score first. Then Koulibaly answers in the 47th minute?
Yeah, right after the break. But, like, I don't know.
Right after half.
That's all he's fucking good for, man. Is getting on the end of bouncing balls in the box that just need to be poked over the line. Like, that's all he's fucking good for.
Well,
or, like, putting in a terrible tackle. Like, just over-committing so hard and they just dribble right by him.
I think it plays to something where you obviously make the argument that it's a very tough transition from the Italian league, the Serie A, to the Premier League. It's a slower league. I think his style matches there. The play is a little bit different. It's not as physical or as quick, so he fits in better there. I wonder if we did like a look at all the players that come from Serie A and like how they do in their first season in the Premier League. Does it take them a little bit longer to adapt, and is there that learning curve? But
yeah, I don't think it's much of an excuse.
There's a reason that
he just spent fucking a gazillion dollars
at Napoli for years.
Yeah, but we just spent a gazillion dollars on this guy for him to come over and stink it up. Like, we could have found somebody like that playing for fucking Cardiff City.
Well,
we get a Burnley center back for, I don't know, $10 million if we really want to play fucking hoofball.
Well,
I mean, people make a lot of the same arguments about buying players from any league, though. Like buying players from Bundesliga, they're like, like buying players from France, buying players from Italy. Like, it's always kind of taking a gamble if they don't have a bunch of Champions League games.
Yeah, I mean, he just stinks.
So you can see.
Like, it's so much of a difference going from having Thiago Silva and Rudiger next to each other who can spray balls all over the field and they just make actual passes, whereas Koulibaly just sees the ball, like, rolling around and he just runs up like he's playing fucking kickball, trying to hit a home run and just kicks it as far as he can. Like, there's not an ounce of finesse about the man. He has he's terrible.
All right, let me give you a scenario then. Would you rather have him or Harry Maguire?
Koulibaly.
All right, there you go. So he's not that bad then.
Yeah, but you see Harry Maguire's way
starting.
too memeable.
Yeah.
Koulibaly, at least people will exactly what you guys are doing. We'll give him his flowers. Oh, he was good for fucking Napoli. They'll do that shit. They won't talk about the fact that he stinks right now, and he just stinks in the most competitive league in the world.
Hey, make no mistake. Harry Maguire gets his flowers from me. You put him in a white shirt with 3 lines on it. Best center back in the world. Let's not get into that.
I mean, for him to go play on the most overrated team in the world for the past fucking 3 international tournaments.
Yeah, I would argue Germany was a little bit more overrated, but we don't need to talk about international football.
They won like 2 World Cups ago.
So after the Koulibaly goal, play kind of evened back out a little in my mind, and then obviously Fulham goes back on the attack. Carlos Vinicius with what would be the game-winning goal.
As soon as João Felix gets sent off, we're never winning that game.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that.
We're never winning that game. He puts in, one of the worst tackles of all time.
Yeah,
you can never get away in no league ever. Are you going to get away with that tackle without VAR? And just the fact that VAR is a thing further cements the fact that you're never going to get away with it. Just a horror tackle.
It's a tough one.
He's lucky to not have fucking broken his leg.
Yeah.
You can't be sliding with your fucking studs halfway up the guy's knee.
Hey, there was one good thing to come out of that tackle, though. We won that one guy on Twitter some sort of bet that he placed. Remember, he said, "How long should I play?"
That guy can eat the biggest bag of dicks. I do not care about his little bet about João Felix.
Oh my god!
I was honestly, when I saw that tweet, I was praying for a João Felix 90-minute masterclass of a.
We were like, how many minutes? Like around 55. like 55,
boom,
60,
clockwork,
58. Out.
And to be fair, I felt like the first Fulham goal was so against the run of play. We were such the better side in those opening 25 minutes offensively. We were creating so many more chances. We looked so much better, literally because of João Felix. One man made us look so much better because he added so much to the counterattack. He wasn't playing shitty balls into people. He was fucking rolling off defenders, dummying defenders. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Do you see some of those Mount misses where Joao was just by far the best man open and Mount's making the wrong pass?
Listen, I don't pay too much attention to the Mount slander on any sort of platform.
It's not far off, man. He's having a stinker of a season.
He plays for fucking 10th place Chelsea who don't score goals. Yeah.
Okay.
You went from saying Champions League winner Chelsea to 10th place Chelsea.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago you said you were coming for 4th place soon.
Do we have to update that?
What do you want me to say? We've watched 4 games in between and we've won 1. Yeah. My opinion is
you've won one in the last 9 games.
This is the thing you guys don't get. I sit here week in and I go week by week. You guys think I have some sort of grand plan. It's no. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we finished fucking, I don't know, 8th. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the point you guys need to drill into your heads. Our league position this year does not matter. Honestly, you want to know the sickest part? I somewhat hope we finish 10th. I somewhat hope we finish 10th so that we don't have the distraction of European competitions next year. We need a year to just reload and not have to play fucking 80 matches in a season.
I'm pretty sure if I went back and listened to a couple episodes ago, the same sick bastard was ridiculing one of the other 2 blokes about how his team had to do that exact same thing, and now they're top of the table. You were saying that was a flawed plan, something like that.
I don't think I've ever
How it
said
was
that because
pathetic.
that's exactly what Chelsea did right before they got Conte. So no, I don't think I ever said that. I think when Gus Hiddink was the caretaker of Chelsea, that's the exact thing they did, and then the next year won the Premier League. So,
Gus.
So, I'll have to
at
check
the time,
tapes,
won a Premier
Kamps.
League record 13 straight that season as well.
You did finish. Was it 15-16 you guys finished 10th?
Yes. 16-17 we won the title.
All right. Well, it is going to be an interesting ride. Yeah. So after that game, I think your outlook was pretty grim. You lose Felix for another 3 matches in the Premier League because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also your game in hand. So you are now level in games with most of the competition. And you lose him for 3 matches, one of which will be Liverpool at Anfield.
I don't listen. Maybe this is just me having done this a million times or something, but I'm not nearly as worried about the points as you guys are. Like, we're not going to win the title. We're probably not going to finish top 4. Like, the points don't really matter as long as we're not getting.
I never brought up points. All I said was that you lost him for 3 matches on it. And now we'll go a little further into
I know, but points make themselves
game.
up. We're gonna win games. We're gonna lose games. It's gonna happen. We're not that great of a team right now.
The other 2 games he'll be out looks like are Fulham at home, so you get the rematch on the quick turn, and then you have West Ham away.
Who's relegation
Derby's
bound.
coming up.
Yeah,
West Ham. I'm not worried about West Ham at all. They're pretty terrible.
Yeah, they're not.
Fulham, at least, like, that's the thing. I told you guys in that same group chat. Everybody's failed to.
You could get the get the rematch back though. Come back in blood and get it on them.
Yeah, I mean, we play them twice every year anyway, so we expect.
I know, but like,
anyway, my point is that, like, I told you guys going into that game, it wouldn't have shocked me if we had lost 4-1. They were in form. They had won 3 of 3 from the fucking return. They're in much better form.
Looking nice.
That was always going to be somewhat of an uphill battle.
Mm-hmm. Do you think their coach? Well. Do you think their coach is in consideration for coach of the year this year?
Probably
Marco Silva, right?
They'll just give that to whoever wins the fucking league, like they do every year. No.
Yeah, I think if a team like Fulham finishes top 5, fuck.
You don't think they give that to like Eddie Howe?
If they finish top 4,
like Newcastle.
Yeah. Why? But like, why? Why would the Fulham manager get it over?
If Arsenal win the league,
yeah.
If Arsenal do win the league, yeah. If Arsenal win the league,
they might.
It's like saying, I don't know. That's like, I don't know. Not to like talk football, but that's like when I have to hear Giants fans be like, "Oh, what do you mean, Dable is
they have like some Pep fatigue, certainly. Like they have some Klopp and Pep. Like I'm sure they wouldn't mind giving it to anyone else.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that towards the end of the season. Let's see. That was what?
That was Thursday.
That was Thursday. Then I didn't watch the game Friday, and I also don't give a fuck. We'll just move right into the premier marquee matchup of the week.
Skip right through the villains. Villains win 2-1 over Leeds.
I'm going to jump right to it because everyone doubted us. Kamps bet against us again. He probably put all of his fucking shillings on blue. No one wanted to see us win.
Some shillings.
We defended Old Trafford yet again against the pieces of shit across the street, and we won. Manchester's red. And here comes the Kamps patrol. Look
I'm just getting ready to say that, like, hey, credit to Ten Hag for learning his mistakes. You don't put a literal midget on a Viking warrior. Get him.
He's been missing for 3. He's been on milk cartons for like 3 weeks.
I don't want to hear he's not fit. If he was fit, he would have played that game. I mean, he was fit because he did play that game.
He's not fit.
He came on.
What I'm saying, Holland has been, dude. Luke Shaw is not a fucking giant. That's who played left center back. Luke Shaw.
Listen,
okay. If you want to say that it was a height thing, we would. If you wanted to say it was a height thing, we would have put in the fucking fridge.
No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. No, that's not. That's never the solution.
Based on fridge these days, your coaches.
based on what you're fucking saying, we would have put the fridge in. But we didn't.
No, what I'm saying is the last time Lisandro Martinez had to play against Erling Haaland, it was a slaughter. He literally couldn't head a ball because he was too short. Do you remember that, Maresh? I was sitting in your house.
I don't like to remember times of you in my house.
All right.
I try to erase those from my memory.
Well.
But, we started Malacia in the back. He's a midget. We started.
How tall is Wan-Bissaka, AWB?
I think he's probably 6 foot, maybe.
The height. I think you guys are missing the point. The height of the rest of your fucking players does not nearly matter as much as your center backs, especially when you have to
we didn't have.
Holland.
Did we? I don't know if we had Casemiro last time either. He might not have been registered. I think we had. Yeah, I don't know if he was registered for that one.
No, I don't think so. I think it was Scott McTominay.
Yeah. We were
you
still
worried
rolling.
After the Grealish goal in the 60th minute, though? Like,
yeah, I tweeted like a little girl. I said, game over. Yeah, he celebrated like he won the fucking World Cup. Fucking
he did. He
bastard. First of all, can we just talk about how he is
celebrating like you won the World Cup? Bruno Fernandes, after scoring the most obvious offsides goal I've ever seen in my life, celebrated like he had led Portugal to something, which he will never do because he is pathetic. And it was just like, and then he's celebrating you want to talk about Grealish celebrating? At least Grealish fighting for his spot in the side. Like, that's a big moment for him. Bruno Fernandes scoring that fucking farce of a goal. Disgusting.
Well. Ooh. First of all, I would rather have Bruno Fernandes than if they made a mega human of all of your midfielders combined. I'd still rather have fucking Bruno Fernandes on my team.
Or the year where Jorginho finished third in Ballon d'Or.
Dude,
Bruno Fernandes will never finish.
For someone under the age of 25, I've actually never met someone who is that young who lives in the past as much as you. It's like you're a fucking 90s kid talking about how that's the best era of life of all fucking time.
In our team
it's actually fucking insane. You were born in like 2000. God damn.
Maresh, I'm talking about midfielders in our fucking team who have better accolades than your captain. The captain of
he won a Euro. He won a Euro. What do you want? He won a Euro. That's it.
I won a Euro and the Champions League in the same year. Yes, Marash.
I don't want to.
And he won midfielder of the competition.
He's trash. He's trash. And he's leaving on a free this year. You know what? Good for him. He'll probably go revitalize his career somewhere else. Ain't gonna do anything for you.
No, well, congrats to Bruno for scoring the biggest farce of a goal I've seen ever. This is how you kind of know, I guess, like Man United has a bit of their clout back, is because they're starting to get controversial ref decisions again. It's a little bit of like the Fergie magic in the area.
Okay, listen. Here's how this one shook out, because I don't know if you watched the game. You must not have. You must have watched like a highlight or something. What had happened was nobody stopped playing. There was that was weak. He hit the ball. Let me start with my first point. Nobody stopped playing. Watch the tapes. You hear Kyle Walker crying that he stopped playing, Akanji crying that he stopped playing, Ederson crying in whatever fucking gibberish language that fucking man speaks. I've actually never seen him speak. I don't think he knows how to.
Same language.
All of them crying that they stopped playing. Pep crying. They all kept playing. Then nobody stopped.
I don't know who to fucking play, Maresh. There are so many screenshots of them being like, I don't know what I'm doing here, because it's like Rashford is pretty much dribbling with the ball. There's such a clear screenshot from behind the goal of like Ederson's line of vision where it's like,
listen,
how is he supposed to know who's shooting the fucking ball?
Same thing happened to City last year to help propel them to beat Villa and win the league.
You see that?
I don't want to fucking hear it.
10 times.
I don't want to hear it.
10 times.
No, you don't. There's been 3 times.
If that was a set piece, and there was a player standing in front of the goalie and didn't touch the ball, and somebody headed it in, and he didn't even come near the ball, they'd be like offsides.
Ethan, this is the 3rd time now that this exact same thing has happened, and they've all gone the same way the United one has gone, in favor of the goal. So I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't know
if that's true or that's just United fans cherry picking stuff to make their arguments sound better.
I would argue that the one where fucking City won the league off of it is a little bit more of a problem than United beating City to claim 3rd place in the fucking league.
His cousin's going to come after you, bro.
I don't care what anybody says.
You know what?
Everybody
Actually, hats off to Ethan's cousin. He didn't cry as much as this fucking geezer.
Knows that was offside. Literally everybody. Not a soul on the internet besides shameless United fans are saying that was onside.
Oh, get the fuck off of your high horse like you wouldn't be sitting there going, we beat City! Oh, fuck you, Maresh, up the Chels! Let's blue, Maresh!
We did that.
Potter magic! Harry Potter cast his fucking spell! We beat fucking City! Ah! You would have been fucking celebrating like you stopped 9/11 from ever happening.
Maresh, I hate to break it to you, bud. We beat them in a Champions League final. Don't know if you remember that one.
Oh, my God.
Dude, grow up. Live in 2023, my God.
If we ever beat City in a big game, we beat City in a bigger game than you will ever beat them in.
Dude, we sit on this podcast every single week and hear you bring up 2021, 2022. If I wanted to live in the past, you're not even fucking above Arsenal in the total trophies, and you call them a little broken.
It's a part of that Champions League run.
Now you want to live in today? I can't keep up. 1 year you're in 2021. To the next minute you're in 2023. I just can't keep up with the way your mouth moves.
Get him.
I don't know.
So I'm not able to bring up relevant statistics or something from the past to prove somebody's worth or something. That's irrelevant.
All I'm saying is we're debating what's happening here and now.
No, I know, and he was offsides here and now. It should have been a penalty for Holland here and now. It should have been a City win.
They showed the ball. They showed that play over and over. Holland doesn't get that penalty. It's the 96th minute of a Manchester derby, and it's a 50-50 on whether he kicked the ball first or the fucking back of the Viking, the strongest player as you've touted him of all fucking time. Oh my God.
Congrats on your
So you know what? He doesn't get that penalty.
You're now in a fake wolf hunt for the title. You could get yourself all jerked off or whatever, lubed up for your 5 points off. But I mean,
listen, you're just upset. I would be so mad too.
He's just gonna wish everyone's downfall for the rest of the season.
If all I got to do was sit on the show week after week in the first half of the season before the World Cup and laugh at how miserable United were, and then to see my club come and just go from. And just keep fucking crashing. Just fucking keep crashing the stock market.
Those are the
and
biggest...
you know what? I don't think we've seen a fucking floor for Chelsea.
But this is what
because you know what? I think financial fair play is coming soon, and I think there's going to be another transfer ban for the fucking bastards in blue because you're breaking rules. There's some bad shit going on, and I think it's going to get uncovered. And we'll talk about that when we talk about transfers, because I'm going to gloat in the fact right now that my star boy, an 18-year-old named Alejandro Garnacho, fucking makes it an incredible play to let Marcus Rashford score his 9th goal in 9 games to propel United to beat the fucking oil money bastards from across the street who were nobody ever.
No, congrats on your I mean, this is, since Fergie left, this is the closest you guys get, is these type of runs. So I'm really
we've actually never finished as low as your pathetic little club.
No, we finished low. It's like a stop.
We stay relevant. We stay relevant, and we're going to have a rebuild complete by staying relevant, always in the picture, always being talked about. People stopped talking about your club for a long time.
I don't know.
You actually weren't even a club before 2000. I don't even know where you guys popped out of. It was just like Stamford Bridge just emerged out of nowhere.
Not true.
And you know what? All this glory that Chelsea have had.
They won't talk about Peter Osgood in the 70s. They won't talk about
you say all this shit.
We want to say
you say all this shit about London being blue.
Say nothing before the 2000s, and then when Ethan starts listing heritage from before the 2000s, it's like, oh no.
Listen, you go on about all this great stuff that Chelsea have done, and you know how London is blue, will always be blue, no matter that they lose to Arsenal and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, Arsenal still have more trophies than you have in the history of your club. That would mean London
what
is
are
red.
we even doing now?
All I'm going to say.
You're just picking and choosing this argument for yourself. You want to live in the past one moment, and then the next moment it's illegal for you to live in the past.
I'm playing
talk
to
about
you.
titles
You
that,
like to live in the
these clubs have
past.
won. It's like Yankees fans being like, we have 27. You won fucking 15 of them before we dropped a bomb on Japan. What are we talking about?
Now we're recycling references. It's not a good look for this podcast.
I don't know if it's recycling references so much as it's like factual statements.
You said that same thing.
Because it's true, Maresh. You want to sit here and talk about your trophies from fucking back when
I'm not talking about mine.
Reputable man.
I actually didn't even talk about mine. I was talking about Arsenal's.
Well,
and how they got more than you.
Either way. Well, I'm going to use your argument. Let's live in the past, Maresh.
Okay. I was living in the past.
I live in the past decade. I live in the past 5 decades.
I'll go back to the present. 2-1 at Old Trafford.
Thank you.
The boys were living. The boys were eating. Casemiro looked great. Varane looked great. De Gea, I don't even pay attention to what's going on back there because I like to look at the front half of the field. Rashford's great. He's in form. And you know what? We're coming next. We got 2 big games coming up here. Palace should be an easy one. I don't know. I do not like how they scheduled in the middle of the week before Arsenal, but whatever. And, yeah, we move. We move. 1 game at a time. Then we can kind of skip over. Did anybody watch any of the other games that happened?
I mean, the Brighton
Saturday was that
Liverpool.
I watched Brighton Liverpool right after.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest. Quick shout to Brendan Johnson, one of their own class player. Propelled them to a 2-0 win over Leicester. Keeps them out of the relegation zone, I believe.
We had Ivan Toney scoring again. He got a pen, but he's scoring, so he's playing.
Mm-hmm. But I did want to touch on the Brighton 3-0. Was it at? No, it was at the Amex. It was at
Brighton.
Yeah. So Danny Welbeck scoring the
Danny Welbs,
the final nail in the coffin for. Get the fuck off your high horse. No,
it's not a high horse, bro. That's a very low horse.
Sully March, 2 great goals. That second goal he scored with his left foot and put it into the far right side of the net. That was awesome. I was dancing watching Liverpool lose. It was a great weekend to be me.
Liverpool dropped down to what, 9th? Are they 9th?
Yeah, they're really battling Chelsea for
this 9th, 10th battle
middle of the table. I don't know. And then let's see the other big match was what, North London Derby, and Ethan.
Yeah, Sunday morning, the NLD.
Pretty. Can we stop calling Spurs a big club? They don't show up under the big occasion. Man. They're so pathetic to watch. Kulusevski was like one of the better players on the field, in my opinion.
I'm not going to defend him.
And then Richarlison's a rat.
On Richarlison, who's not playing in their biggest fucking games. Like, what the...
See how much of a dickhead he was being on the sidelines?
They're a mess, Spurs. And, like, the first goal shows that. Like, Lloris is fucking washed. That was disgusting.
Oh, God.
Like,
I'm so glad they didn't.
Saka with just
I rate Saka
and right into Lloris.
And I love
it did have the little deflection off the defender I saw there.
I mean,
yeah.
Back to there is James. I got you're trying to do some damage control there, but there is nothing to save Hugo there. That was absolutely pathetic.
That was there. Yeah, that was never should have ever.
That should be a save 11 out of 10 times.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Yeah, that's why that's what I was saying. I'm not doing damage control at all. He just ripped power, not even into the net if the goalie wasn't there. Would have shot across the bow. But
who scored the second one? Odegaard's goal was
not
nice.
Great form. Yeah, Odegaard, long one, low.
Again, I kind of think it should have been a save. It wasn't too far off. Like, it wasn't like upper 90. It wasn't far side of the post, like hugging the post. It was kind of...
Spurs have got to get Conte out. They can't be playing that style of football. Doesn't fit them at all. Like, they don't have enough firepower in their midfield or attack. I mean, they have Kane and Son, but Son's done nothing all year. Kane's been kind of, pen merchant-y. Their midfield, like Højbjerg's the only player who does anything in their midfield.
Yeah, I was going to say Højbjerg's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm going to say Kulusevski looked nice the other day. That's it.
Højbjerg,
he was putting
Kulusevski.
Yeah, I think those two. Perisic, I don't even know what he's done for that club.
Like, that was such a bad signing, in my opinion.
Who knows?
The whole 90 minutes was so hard to watch because Spurs just look bad, man.
But
do you think this is the worst they've looked in recent history?
They look bad against really good teams, but then a lot of the times they just beat up on
teams they were trying out after they sold Bale and Modric with like Soldado. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Those teams were bad.
But I'm saying like last 5 years. Last 5 years is probably the worst they've been.
That guy was terrible.
Yeah.
Moussa Dembele was like the only player that was decent.
True.
Aaron
but
Lennon.
So that he was just a pace merchant. No skill moves, nothing else, just a pace merchant. But yeah, outlook's bleak for Spurs. I think they've still got a bunch of big games. They've got United again. I think they play Chelsea once more. And then I don't know how many times they'll play Liverpool, but I don't know. I'm not sold on them being in a top 6 picture this season. I think they'll probably finish 7 or maybe even 8. But to your point, James, they do beat up and show up against crappy teams.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we thought they were going to lose or maybe draw to Crystal, and then they just put 4 in the last 20 minutes. Like, didn't Son do like a 20-minute hat trick earlier in the season? Like when they were
off the
down
bench
or tied or something? Like, I feel like in those close little games, like they do find ways to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But they have, when under the spotlight, completely just crumbled.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
I gotta say, fuck the Spurs at the end of the day. It sounds like I don't want to defend them in any way. Fuck them. I hope we win every single time we play them. They're scum. Their fans are scum. They fucking kicked Ramsdale. That fucking fan literally stood up on the wall and kicked Ramsdale as he's walking to like grab the ball behind him for a goal kick.
That's like one thing. Like some people will be like, "Oh, those people, whatever." But like, I can't condone fan behavior like that ever. Like,
no, dude, don't
against a player. Like,
Ethan smiles. Ethan's like, "Yeah, if I got close enough, I'd take a swing."
I started thinking about scenarios, and it's like it was the last game at the Boleyn Ground, West Ham versus United, and it was a big game. And some guy, like, after West Ham scored, just fucking got in De Gea's face and was just screaming in his face. Like, maybe not violence, but that kind of... I will say this.
No, but this guy got out of his seat, like, stood on the wall between the field and the stands.
But I will say,
like,
hooliganism, I'm very much up for.
Hooliganism, I think, in terms of, like, fan interactions with the players, I think it should be no more than you can say stuff to them. I think as an athlete, you have to be able to take it. You are getting paid millions of whatever currency you're playing for. You're making millions of it. If you can't take some fucking jamoke calling you a fucking piece of shit, then like, go be a doctor. I don't know. Go be a fucking librarian where no one's going to fucking be in your grill. Like, don't be a professional athlete, but don't fucking touch them. Like, I think that's like, like...
Yeah, there was like an issue with the NBA a lot, like right after COVID came out. Like there was a lot of bad fan interactions, like people throwing water.
You don't touch strangers.
And like,
right? Like you wouldn't go up to some fucking random person and be like, just kick him in the fucking shin and just keep walking.
Ethan would, bro. Ethan would, bro.
So I don't know. Ethan's looking a little cheeky, but
he's looking a little cheeky.
No, it's just like
we might have to play the "Who would Ethan beat up" game, or "Who would Ethan strike" if given.
Any Yankee or I don't think Daniel Jones is hateable enough, but like I'm trying to think of like
you're listing guys that would just absolutely kick the shit out of me. Like, you think about it realistically, like, going to a Giants game, I get in, it's like, oh, hey, 6'5" Daniel Jones, I'm going to beat you up now. Or, hey, 6'9" Aaron
you know what?
come and knock you silly. Like, what?
Hey, you know what? To a normal person, like, I'm assuming James is, like, kind of maybe a similar build to you.
Sure.
Maybe more muscle. But I have seen you do this with 6 foot, maybe 200-pound dudes walking down the streets of New York. Like I don't think you making the argument that just because they're bigger than you, you're going to be all scared. Ethan Kamps, you can say a lot of things about him. I'll say a lot of things about him, but he's not scared of anyone.
Yeah, just the dark, Marash. I'm just scared of the dark. Still sleep with a
just,
nightlight. That's a joke, but
well, yeah, because you have no lights in your room. We knew that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
he's using his nightlight right now to illuminate his face.
But nice. Other things that happened this weekend. Let's see. We just had Newcastle kind of escape Fulham. Did you guys see the Mitrovic controversy? He like double kicked the ball or something.
The ball.
Yeah,
scumbag.
And then Chelsea handled Palace. That would have been. Do you think if they lost that game, Potter out?
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little grateful we didn't record the podcast right after the Thursday game because I was cooking up some takes. But
he's like, I got a few drafts in there that are kind of spicy.
I may have sent a couple Potter out texts after the Thursday game, but the game on Saturday,
Ethan's Blue Army.
The game on Saturday,
DM those.
I guess gave me a little more hope.
Yeah. If anyone has those takes, please
I thought for sure I was going to wake up to Datro Fofana starting on Saturday or Sunday. I thought for sure that was going to be the team news, only to see Havertz in the side again. We talked about it earlier.
Pretty upset.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was where you got the Mark Goldbridge curse of Havertz scoring. But you guys didn't look like... I don't know if Palace had any fucking mojo.
No, Palace did nothing.
I know. And, if they had lost that game, do you think it would have been Potter out? Only reason I say that, it would have been a really tough game to lose. It's like they're paying homage to Vialli.
Yeah.
All the legends are there. Terry's there. All the boys are there.
Well, that's actually the manager who gave Terry his first break. Was Vialli when he was the player manager. Brought him into
so I think it would have been tough scenes if you guys lost that one. But you didn't, so we don't need to speak on hypotheticals. Yeah, it would have been
fucking back-to-back London derbies we had lost too. So, I mean, there's nothing... Like, we can't be losing these games.
Yeah. But immediately after the Thursday game, this would be a good segue, Chelsea... It wasn't immediate, but, like, I think it started after the Thursday game. As James predicted, Daddy Bowley brought out the checkbook and hijacked Michaela Mudryk.
He did.
From Arsenal. Arsenal was tied to one single player for the winter transfer window, and he was taken, or actually two players, and they're both now playing in the west side of London.
They're both not playing in blue, yes.
So, James, walk us through. How do you feel now that you've had some time to swallow it? What are you thinking?
I think image-wise, it's a good move for Chelsea to spend a lot of fucking money on a Ukrainian. I don't know if that plays a role at all in it, but he wanted to go to a big club. Regardless, is what he's saying. He wanted an upgrade. He was saying it was.
There's a reason he chose Chelsea over Arsenal, James.
Bro, he was twerking for you guys.
No, he was twerking. He was twerking, but that's what that was his quote. That was his quote. He's like, "Yeah, I'll go." Like, yes, I'll go to whoever pays. He's trying to get out. He's trying to get out.
Those little big-eared trophies that you guys like to make fun of so much for me bringing them up. Those mean something to transfers coming in.
Well, he's not going to be playing there next year.
Well, I'm just saying, like the ones we've won within the past 2 years that you guys.
Well, I mean, for him, he got the bag, but he went from playing Champions League football to not playing Champions League football
at the moment. Rome wasn't built in a day, Marash.
All right. Well, on the other side of the coin,
he's doing his thing. He's playing Premier League football, though. Is what he wanted. He wanted to move to that main stage. Yes, he was twerking really hard for Arsenal, but at the end of the day, that was agreed. Like, his terms were always agreed. That's why it was posting
I'm not gonna
all
lie,
these things alluding to it.
Yeah, it's a big
and then it just didn't happen. I mean, I guess it seems like your deal is made up of like 60, 65, and then the rest of it is contingent on a Champions League or Premier League win in the next 7 years. They like believe in the Chelsea project, basically, is what a lot of that fee is tied to.
Most
and
fees
so I don't know
something like that.
I don't know what the Arsenal fee was based around, but our number at the end of the day, the combined total was less. They were looking for the 100 number. That's what they were looking at with the Anthony. That's what they were tying it to the entire time. And I think at the end of the day, we did come up a little short.
I simply hope it pans out.
And he backed it up. Bowley he was just like, "Oh, that's the price." Like he literally waited for them to negotiate the entire thing to the point where it's just like, yeah, someone can basically step in and take it, and he did in the course of like 6 hours. Fabrizio was like, "Oh, Arsenal," and then like 2 hours later, he's like, "Never mind, Chelsea."
Yeah,
God damn. Okay,
people forget who Todd Bowley is and what he's done in his lifetime. It was only a few years ago where he was so mad that the Dodgers lost in the World Series that he went out and bought everybody to make them win the World Series. He's got no regret in making sure that they pay to play.
Which is what I have been saying for months on this very program. As long as we have a guy, which you guys for some reason thought wasn't going to spend for whatever reason, if we have a guy who is willing to just keep firing bullets, we are fine.
But I think the difference between him and Roman is that Roman, I think, had a little bit more understanding of what players were needed, when to walk away from certain deals. What I fear for you could happen with Bowley is he's going to inflate what people's perception is that Chelsea will pay for players, similar to what has happened with United and the Glazers. They know that they can get the 120 million for Jadon Sancho, that they can get the 80 million for Maguire, that they can get the 100 mil for Anthony from United. They knew they weren't going to get that elsewhere. But if they knew if the desire was strong enough from United, they'll pay the money. But you might get stuck in a similar situation now with Bowley.
I think it's more so just like a small picture thing or like a big picture thing in a small window he's doing now. Like it's not like he's going to spend this much money every single year. I think it's more so he wants an overhaul of the squad to get players in who he thinks he could build around and build a foundation of. As opposed to the players that are there. Because, listen, as much as people like to blame managers at Chelsea, the last 3 managers, I think, Tuchel, Lampard even had a mutiny in the locker room against them, and, like, Sarri before that, they all had problems with the players that were there. They all lost power because the players kind of usurped them and took over. So, and Tuchel had a quote that was like, it's a problem because we have the same players. Like it's something like that. It's like it's within the players. It's not necessarily the managers or anything. But
all right. Well, I have 2 questions. One for you and one for James. For you, Ethan, did you need him? It's a crowded left side of the pitch.
Well, I think like I said, I think it's gonna be a massive squad overhaul. I think we're gonna see like the likes of like Ziyech leave. We're gonna see the likes of Pulisic leave. In favor of a squad overhaul.
Okay. Yeah, because like he fits into your squad today with the injuries, but when Christian comes back, when Sterling comes back, when all these players start to come back, it'll be a different story.
Listen, but we also understand as the club, you buy Mudryk, who's younger than Sterling. Sterling's not going to be here for 10 years.
Yeah, he's phasing out.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's kind of like a reload move. It's like a transition move. And it's easier to have him here and have these times of him transitioning when he's not necessarily starting or like getting as much time because of the squad depth, but more so like, well, I'd hope he played. We just spent a fucking gazillion dollars on him, but
yeah, I think he'll play soon. But
it's an easier transition to just come on to the starting 11 than to be like forced in there, like to work your way through the squad.
Well, and I think you guys will be big sellers in the summer, to your point. So we'll see who stays and who goes. The most recent name I've heard being sold, potentially even this window, would be Koulibaly. I've heard that he is being considered for the rare purchase in the summer, sell
I've
in
heard
the winter.
another from his same club. Have you heard of another purchase in the summer, sale in the winter?
Who?
That boy Pierre.
Oh yeah, he might
Barcelona
be.
is interested in Pierre
But
returning back
but
to
the terms are
Barcelona.
pretty unrealistic. They want to make sure that it's like fully free for them. They're not willing to pay any money.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
I
not
mean,
just
listen,
cut him to
when
get him
you're
off
in the
the books.
spot that
Like, what's his
Chelsea
fee
are
right now?
in, you kind of just gotta throw shit against the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
You know,
On the other,
you be the ones who finally.
You said you had a question
bullet
for me as well.
and pay for Koulibaly. Doesn't pan out because you're in a situation where you need center backs.
no, I get it. You got to be quick and make that decision if he's not working. There's no point in wasting him in the squad, especially with the amount of center backs you have. Like you have Badiashile, he came in and I think he looked good.
He put in a solid shift.
He's young too, and now it's just you got to get another good probably two more good center backs, and you can cycle them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Chalobah guy, but he didn't look good against Fulham.
Yeah. On the other side of the transfer, James, the big thing I saw on Arsenal Twitter was you lost out by £5 million or euros at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It's 95 to 100. Like, it wasn't that much. What
Seems
was
pretty
it?
petty. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
and a lot
I
of
think
fans
there's a big psychological blockade moving that digit that Arsenal might still be stuck behind that Chelsea is not.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of fans are frustrated,
especially on like the straight up fee. Like I think it was, I think they were afraid of going full fee higher than Pepe a little bit, so they were just throwing add-ons. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but a lot of fans are starting to get frustrated with Edu, saying that he spent how many weeks going back and forth to Shakhtar, spending so much time there. Sometimes he just can't get deals done. That's what a lot of
the only thing I really hope that comes out of all of this is a song similar to the Williams song. The shit from Spurs, they bought his flight, but Willian, he saw the light, he got the call from Abramovich, and off he went to Stamford Bridge. He hates Tottenham. Like if we had something similar for Arsenal, I like that. Yeah, personally.
Well, okay. Now Mudryk aside, James, where do Arsenal look now? There's 2 weeks left in the window. You need to get some squad depth here. I know you don't have a whole lot of tournaments to play in right now, but to get through this end of the season, you cannot play Saka, Martinelli. Like you can't play the same team every week. They're gonna get tired. Hopefully there's no injuries, but there could be, and you have to plan for that. So who do you turn your eyes to?
I mean, so we aren't playing in this first round of Europa League games because we got the bye. So that's nice at least. We have a little bit longer break on that.
You have that in the FA Cup as well.
The midweek. Yeah, we're not in the Energy Drink Cup anymore. So we've got Emil coming back. He's put some minutes in. He just had a tiny little cameo at the end of that North London derby. I think he came in like the 94th or something. But I think he could definitely end up picking up some minutes. Gabriel Jesus, I mean, they still said he's walking around. I see him walking around, but they're still saying it might take a little longer than they had anticipated right off the gun. So it might still be looking like, I think, late February, early March, like still like kind of a while. This guy, Ethan.
You missed him. Did you not notice that his fucking vape died in his hand and he just started?
No, I didn't. I was staring at his vape. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Eddie's been playing decent, but we can't keep playing Eddie like that.
My point is,
all the Arsenal Twitter is talking about fucking Declan Rice right now, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
but that's in the summer.
The only name I've read about this winter now with you guys is Yuri Tielemans.
Yeah, we've wanted Yuri for a very long time. We've coveted Yuri from Leicester. I thought that was going to happen maybe last
summer.
Yeah, like last transfer window, but that didn't end up happening. I think they wanted to take him for a while, and I think we've been kind of like waiting for his contract to run down because we know we really want the kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd be really into Yori if we got him, but I haven't heard that much about it recently.
Yeah. The only other name that I haven't.
Windows.
Yeah, the only other name I've heard that's not an official source, but that Arsenal fans keep throwing around is Rafael Leao, where I don't think he's coming to the Premier League in this window. I think if and when he does, it'll be a big time summer move for big money.
Yeah.
But I don't think you guys are going to get...
did hear Barcelona was thinking about moving on Rafinha like already.
I heard that, but then I also saw his desires are not to want.
The price tag was like huge.
Yeah, I saw he posted on Instagram that I love winning trophies here. I don't want to. Basically, he was just saying I don't want to fucking leave. He's like committed to fit his way back into the squad. So
he's on the Frankie De Jong.
Yeah, looking ahead to next week, we've got what will be a big. You want to talk
about your transfer, man?
Well, we all know he's going to be a 20-goal scorer in 20 games. So not much.
You see the clip of him singing? Dude's got pipes.
Dude's got pipes. He's 6'6". Last time we had a big striker like that, I think he went by the name of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And last time we had a striker wear the number 27. It was Makeda, who I believe won us a league. So I'm into it. Listen, do I think
number association? Nice.
Do I think that I mean, if I wanted to go deeper into number association, the most recent player to wear 27 at Manchester is Alex Telles, who is propelling Sevilla into a relegation battle in the Spanish league, I believe. So
great list of number 5s at Manchester United. Harry Maguire.
Okay, Rio Ferdinand.
Harry Maguire tops the list, obviously.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, well, I think it'll be interesting. I'm very confused by the transfer. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag turns him into somewhat of a decent player. He wanted him. I don't think it was a panic signing. I don't think we were going to sign anyone. I think Ten Hag wanted a striker. He wanted Felix. We obviously weren't going to pay the price. We got Wout Weghorst. I don't think that name I don't know. Like when you think about when we got Igalo, he was offered to us. Nobody offered Wout Weghorst to us. We just kind of went out of our way to figure we needed him on loan from Burnley. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited, but looking ahead to next week, we have the Arsenal United match at the Emirates. It's going to be a tough one for United. Both teams are heavily in form. James, got a score prediction? What do you think is going to happen?
So this one, we got it on Sunday at the Emirates. At the Emirates. Sheesh. So you guys are playing on Wednesday, though. So you're playing a Premier League match on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're playing. They put them
super hard, but you might play a little bit of a B side-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, man. I mean, I'm going for the dub. I'm just trying to think of how many.
Yeah, I don't know. Realistically,
I think we both might score. I'm going 3-1.
All right. You think you're going to reverse what we did to you at Old Trafford? Realistically, I think this game is there's a lot of young talent playing in this one, outside of Varane and Casemiro and Xhaka. But outside of that, I think it will be a draw. A lot of nerves. First big challenge for
I think it's a 1-1.
Maybe 1-1, but here's the thing: if you guys score first, I think you're going to go up to 2. Hey, once you guys get a first goal, you guys get way too confident.
I think we're going to score, then you're going to score, then we're going to score, and then it's going to be really testy. Then we might get one like late.
I'm going for it. I think it's going to be because that's exactly what I think. They hype this match up and then it plays to a 0-0. That 3-1 last one was a rare one.
I'm I'm gonna say this.
I mean, the
Raj,
Brighton
I'm not
game
gonna
was just
like it, I'm not-
4-2. So
I
I'm
like
just
this entire season. I haven't been particularly thrilled with like Manchester United's attack. Like they could very easily fall into 0-goal games. I feel like, and I think somewhat of the same can be said for Arsenal. Their best play is on the wings, and
United have answers for that.
United has good wings.
Yeah.
In the middle of the park's going to be a
All
battle.
right.
Casemiro's going to be putting in his scumbag tackles all game, going for subtle like ankles and stuff like he does all the time.
We got some pretty big boys though. We got some.
No, well,
boys.
I'm just saying he's gonna. It becomes a lot more physical with Casemiro in the middle of the park. He's grabbing shirts, making sure you're not turning on the ball.
That's what Partey is for. My boy Partey.
No, he does his aggression in the bedroom apparently, and gets away with it with the police.
Hey, whoa. That's alleged.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Ethan, you also have a big match this week. You guys travel to the Merseyside and you play struggling Liverpool. What do you think is going to happen there?
Anfield.
I just hope we're not the team that Darwin Núñez finally scores 1 million goals against. That's all I hope. Like
Do you have to sing the song?
I don't care
if he
about the
scores
result
goals?
really.
Or is it just
Like
me?
it's always going to be hard to get points away at Anfield, regardless of your season, and we're having a poor season. I just hope it's not a pathetic one because Chelsea have had some pretty pathetic games at Anfield over the years, especially recently against Klopp. Like the Mo Salah goal where he just that was fucked up. But
yeah.
I think this one's itching for both teams to score though. Got to.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe Mudryk might be in the squad.
Actually, last season at Anfield, I think we drew 1-1. Havertz scored. So
A cheeky Mudryk goal. Should you sprinkle?
listen, man, I sprinkled Jow.
And he almost got one in like the first 10 minutes.
Mudryk's
He
not
almost.
going to be in like. I don't like betting wingers, except for Sterling.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, he didn't even score that many goals in Ukraine. Like he had some decent like Champions League stuff.
yeah.
That's
it was a great week. We got a great week of a footy coming up, but this past weekend we also had another great reason to be Marash Patel as the New York Football Giants took down the Vikings and moved on. They'll play the Eagles next. I'm excited about that.
I will say this.
Giants.
I will say this, Marash. I find myself not necessarily getting angry at Giants' success. I find myself getting angry at Giants fans who think they've been living in poverty for the past 10 years.
No.
Like, I get angry at that. I get angry when they're like, oh, I used to pray for times like this.
We had 2 times like this.
Oh, relatively recently as well. Yeah.
Anyone was alive for them.
And then I'm sitting there with my thumb up my ass, like, oh yeah, the Jets haven't made the playoffs since like 2010. And I have to sit there to listen to all these Giants fans have to tell me, oh, I haven't seen a playoff win since they won that Super Bowl. Well, A, you won the Super Bowl. B, we haven't made it to the playoffs in that span. So I find myself almost getting reverse envious of their depression. Being like, you guys didn't suffer what I suffered.
You guys have bum ass depression. That's what you're saying. I will say this: it's an interesting matchup
game in my life, but whatever. Continue.
Yeah, but you win a couple games on Thanksgiving, and that's what
they
guys
made
do
it to the
for.
playoffs in the past 10 years.
We lost. We
got
won a
there.
playoff game.
I would have given my left nut.
We went to like wild card games.
Lose this year.
Listen, here's my take on the Giants. They have the luxury of playing the Eagles twice in the regular season. They have a little bit more tape on what to expect. And you know what? Everyone who's saying we didn't have a chance, that's exactly where we want to be. Exactly where we were, like when we had to go through Lambeau, playing against Brett Favre in the snow, who doesn't lose. We like where we are. We like to be the dogs, and this team's got that same dog in them that they had those 2 Super Bowl runs.
Yeah, I mean, it
No
helps when
name
you play
wide
the worst,
receivers.
literally the worst defense in the league. Like, that part helps. For Daniel Jones to have, like, a career day. Like, it helps when you play legitimately the worst defense in the league.
Listen, they were, what, 13-14?
Hey.
They won their division.
Not particularly the hardest division to win.
Yeah, well. I don't make the rules, I just follow them, Ethan. You know.
Hey, no, congrats. I'm sure they'll beat Philadelphia. I'm sure it will go with the storybook ending like you think it will.
But one last thing on that. So I made a bet with Nick this weekend. He said that basically the Super Bowl is either going to be the Chiefs, the Super Bowl winner will be the Chiefs, Eagles, or the Bills. And I said, I don't think you're giving enough credit to the field. And so I get the field. He gets those three. Do you think he's going to win?
Chiefs, Bengals, and Eagles? I mean...
No, Chiefs, Bills, and Eagles. I don't think the Bills are that
credit
good.
To him for just taking the two best teams in the
league.
Like,
he said, yeah. Well, I don't know. The Bengals have beaten the Chiefs this season. I thought that
they did that last season, Marash. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has been sitting around for an entire offseason being like, oh boy, I can't wait to lose to those Bengals again.
Oh, I don't think he's been doing a whole lot. I don't know.
I think he's been doing a whole lot of, oh boy, I'm going to throat fuck the Bengals the next time I see them in the playoffs.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. They didn't look good last night, though. But all I'm saying is I got a bigger field.
That's a division rival game.
Yeah.
I'm taking
the only thing I will say about the Giants that makes me somewhat like them against the Eagles is the Giants have this way of just winning. Every win the Giants have won is ugly. Besides that,
they win games that they shouldn't win.
Exactly. So that's the only thing they got going for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Great episode. Thanks for listening. Please.
I did want to mention that the Thursday game is Man City versus Spurs, and after you guys just handled Man City, I think they're just gonna.
Not just us. Southampton also handled them. They're going. This is the first time in 3 years that Pep has lost 2 games in a row. I think they are going to absolutely throttle Tottenham. Maybe Holland gets 7 goals.
The other teams that are kind of up there, Newcastle's playing Crystal. Should win that.
Cool.
Oh, and Marash, I did
Fulham
the
ends up playing Tottenham again on Monday.
Biggest flops.
No, we're gonna do it next week. We're gonna do flops of the week next week. Save it.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about flops of the season next week.
You told me to do the homework.
You didn't. You admitted before the show you didn't do it.
Pull the tape.
Send the pod to your friends. Send it to your nan. Send it to your mom. Send the Twitter out. Get a few likes on the. We're almost at 100 likes on Twitter. Get us there.
100 Twitter followers. I might just list everyone off once we do.
We might do what else do we got? Like us on YouTube. Subscribe. Support the blokes. This is a small operation, and everything goes a long way. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
I'm here with 2 former legends.
Where's the bloke? It's half time. We talk to a bloke about football. Where's the bloke?